Bill.
Whatever works in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Everything that I'm going to share with you today is in the Google Drive. Okay. I think there's one exception, and I'll get that in there within the next couple of days. Okay. So, first of all, I want to start off by thanking you and congratulating you. Okay. Let me give you a look back on how this year has gone so far. Okay. I know some of us have been together since day one, and some of us are brand new. But I want to make sure that you guys kind of understand where we've come from. Okay. On March 9th, I believe, we hosted a meeting at the office that basically announced the productivity coaching program was open and available for sign up. Okay. Since then, we had about a week to a week and a half or so of in-house meetings or in-office meetings and in-person stuff. And then we went straight into COVID. Since then, pretty much 100% of our program has been run on Zoom. And we've been relying on one-on-one meetings and group masterminds and Google Drive and YouTube and videos left and right to try to help people build their business. Okay. And for the most part, I think we've been pretty successful. Okay. I set out at the very beginning to execute on the following mission statement. And for those that haven't heard this or haven't heard it in a while, let me help you understand what is on my mind. Okay. Our mission is to create a community of learning-based and purpose-driven leaders focused together on accelerating the trajectory of our businesses and the quality of our lives. Using the powerful leverage of Keller Williams models, systems, and technology, we intend to create abundant lives for ourselves and for those we support. Okay. So I went out to build a program that would complement the training and the technology and the culture and the support of Keller Williams, and add an additional layer, several additional layers of assistance and support and accountability so that you guys could ultimately build the foundations of your business and every day make progress in towards your personal goals and your financial goals. Okay. So with that said, we are currently the largest we've ever been. Okay. This is almost like I feel like I'm giving the State of the Union, but we're gonna get into the good stuff here momentarily. Okay, just entertain me for just another moment or so. Okay. So with that said, I want to help you understand where we are. Okay. If you look at our production for the year, okay, this does not count any transactions in December, just so you understand. Does not count any transactions in December. Our group has closed 141 units for just over $30 million worth of sales volume, 30,229,378. Okay, so I'm gonna dollars. That's in volume. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we already have the numbers to make it, but we're probably going to close over 150,000 or 150 units, probably closer to 160 units this year. And we would be, if we were officially a team, we would be an MREA team. So us together have grossed $1 million. Okay, so I'm want to express my gratitude. I want to express my congratulations, and I would like to thank you for all of your efforts all year long. This has not been an easy an easy journey, but it's becoming easier with you guys' help. So I'm going to share, Greta, I'm going to answer your question here in 1 second. Okay. I know that I ask a lot of you guys. I ask you to report your numbers. I ask you to build stuff and grow every day, talk to a lot of people, and I appreciate your partnership. Now, because I'm asking you guys to post your numbers publicly, I have also agreed to post my numbers publicly. Okay, so this is our results. Okay, So the very first month that we started tracking this stuff, we were at 37 agents. This is back in April. Okay. We did 11 units for a little over $2 million. Then we added 2 agents. We added 2 units, 3.2. And you can see this is on the PC results page. So you can see this at any time. Okay. My goal, or really the goal of the Market Center, is for me to have, or for our group to contribute 25% of the company dollar that is collected in the entire office. Last month, we were the best we've ever been at a little over 21%. Meaning, if you add in all the 30% that everyone in the Market Center, even non-PC people pay, 25% of that money come from PC. The closest we've ever been is 21, little over 21%.
Hey, Bill?
Yes,
I'm just curious, where'd you come up with this 25%? Is that a baseline for other
That's kind of like a KW, like strong recommendation, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. So that's where that came from. So as you can see, we're getting pretty close. In October, we were a good bit below that, and there's a lot of reasons for that, including a lot of people that top producers that contributed to company dollar and offset some of the numbers. But at the end of the day, at the end of November, we were at 61 people, and as of this moment, we are at 68 people in the group. Okay. So I want to just walk you through a couple of other things that that I hold myself accountable to, and I would encourage you guys to hold me accountable to this as well. Okay, so I want to let you know that I am coached also. I'm coached by Robert Doyle, who's the Director of Career Development with GLG. I'm coached by Deb Jolly, who's one of the top PC coaches in with MAPS. We meet for half an hour each week and go through how to deliver the best value to you so that you can get what you need and grow your business. Okay. I'm also coached by Aubrey, and we meet weekly to go over what we're doing and what we're not doing and where we're successful and where we're not successful. So the reason why I ask you guys to post your numbers so frequently is not because I got nothing better to do. It's because we got to know if we're winning. Okay. There's nothing wrong with let me not go there. But if I don't know if you're winning, then I can't help you win. If you don't know you're off track, or I don't know you're off track, I have a hard time figuring out how to help you. Okay. So because I'm asking you to report your stuff publicly, here's my stuff. Okay. I've got to look at production. I'm judged on y'all's production, right? Not to mention my income, of course, is determined by it. The expectation is that I have 17 listing appointments and take 13 listings a month. We have never taken 13 listings a month. Okay. Seller listings, and closed 24 units. We've done that a couple of times. Last month we beat it. Okay. And then I have some recruiting goals, growth goals, where I'm expected to have 10 appointments internally. These are people at the office that have not yet joined the program. Okay. I've had 17 this month. 20 my goals will change a little bit next month, but 20 external appointments, non-KW people. I'm way off on that this month. I'm at 5. Okay, internal gross, I'm beating my expectation. I'm supposed to have 7, I've had 10. External gross, I'm supposed to have 5, I've had 3. And net, I'm supposed to have 10, I've had 7. Okay, and then we tracking company dollar in the PC program. So anytime that you're wondering, is my coach accountable to anyone? The answer to that is yes, absolutely. My coach is accountable to a lot of people. Okay, so when people say, when I say, please send me your numbers, again, I'm just trying to make the reporting for myself and for those I'm held accountable. I'm just making sure that gets done. Okay. So what we can do is we can look at our numbers. You see here, we can look at our numbers of, is our lead generation resulting in the appropriate amount of contacts? Are we adding the appropriate amount of people to the database? Are we holding enough appointments? Is there a gap between set and held appointments? What we can see here is the lion's share of our appointments are with buyers. Total appointments, 68 last in November, 19 of them were with sellers. This month, 58, 16 are with sellers, meaning we're meeting with way too many buyers. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not that we're meeting with too many buyers, it's that we're not meeting with enough sellers. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So with that said, we also know that we're writing a lot of contracts, yet we're not putting a ton of things under contract. So what is that telling us? Is that telling us that we need tighter contracts? We need to set better expectations? I know Heather's been skewing the numbers for months here, but we're learning, and there ain't nobody stronger in this group at contracts than Heather, I don't think, right? That woman can write a contract. There ain't no doubt.
After that last one.
And then we want to track how much money, of course, we're making, so that because we're all here for, for that reason, okay, among others. But if we're not making money, we're not going to stick around. Fair to say?
Mhm.
Okay, so I say all that to say we're in this together, okay? If you guys don't win, I don't win, okay? And nothing makes me happier than seeing somebody close deals and thinking different than they were thinking before they got into this room, okay? So if you haven't already figured this out, and I'm gonna just come out and say it, I am wide open to feedback, criticism, complaints, whatever. I can take it, okay? If I'm not delivering the value that you need, you're not gonna stick around, okay? I get that, and I respect that. So that's why we've asked you guys to complete the survey. There's a survey link on the email that I sent out on Sunday. If you have not completed that, I'm going to kindly ask you to complete the survey. It will take you less than 5 minutes. On the survey, it asks you questions like, how many homes do you want to sell next year? What's your most important personal goal? What's your most important professional goal? What's the biggest commitment that you can make to make sure that stuff happens? What's the biggest commitment that I can make to make sure that stuff happens? I want to make sure that we're talking about the right stuff during our meetings, okay? Now, I was told, so please fill that out so I know how to be your partner, okay? We've had roughly half of the group fill out the survey. On that survey, you guys, I asked you, how many units do you want to close? And you answered. Just the ones that have responded, if y'all hit your goals, we will hit our goals as a group. And I would say, I'm not messing around with these goals. These are some pretty aggressive goals, okay, for you guys, so that all of us can have awesome lives, okay? Now, I was told about a year ago, or a little less than a year ago, that when I got this program to between 40 and 45 people, I would start to feel pressure. And they were exactly right. Today, we're at 68. So I'm feeling a lot of pressure, okay? And as a result, I have been scouring the world for help, okay? And I'm in the middle of interviewing with one candidate and about to start with another candidate for, I don't want to call him a launch coach, but essentially an assistant coach, okay? My idea there is as follows, okay? And all of this is subject to change. I'm just trying to figure out how to best serve you guys, okay? I'm saying all this to kind of just give you a glimpse into what's in my mind so that you can, share ideas, right? If you think I'm an idiot, tell me I'm an idiot. Just do it in private, okay? And give me some suggestions on how to be a better leader for you guys. Okay, this is the role that I have in mind for the assistant. Okay, every week, this is my perfect vision. Okay, every week we're gonna have an intro to productivity coaching session. Okay, for those that are new to the group or new to Keller Williams, we're gonna have an orientation session. So every week, if you feel like you don't have a grasp on all the tools or where to find stuff, you can pop into the orientation, okay? We're gonna have a weekly session on business planning. So if you need help with your 411, your GPS, your fourth quarter GPS, if you don't know where to find stuff, if you can't manipulate the template, if you can't find the template, blah, 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 we're gonna have weekly classes on all of that, okay? We're gonna have a weekly role play and script practice, okay? We're gonna have a launch mastermind every week, which I will say, I hope it's still valuable. I'd love to kind of reinvigorate that. The attendance on that's been a little low. Same thing with the growth group. The attendance on the mastermind has been a little low. So I want to challenge you, if it needs to be a different time or a different day or different content, let's talk about it. Or if you think it's the worst idea ever, just tell me, I'll pull it off the schedule, okay? I also am considering a form of office hours. Okay. I have not made a decision about this firmly. I am toying around with the idea of getting rid of the 15-minute meetings for those people that have not had their first transaction. Until you have your first transaction, I believe some of this content would be a better match for your energies. Okay. It's not a final decision. One thing that I found interesting is I normally hold around 60 one-on-ones a week. I canceled all of them this week and asked you guys to schedule them. And I got about 25 people that scheduled them. 10 of which or so I had to say, hey, you want one? Hey, you want one? Hey, you want one? So I'm just feeling the waters to see, hey, is this even valuable to you guys? Okay. And we're also considering, or not necessarily considering, just kind of considering exactly how it would be formatted, a dual career option. Okay. Where there would be some offerings at night, maybe even on the weekend, maybe something in person, alternating between myself and the other coach, something of that nature. So there's a little bit more like after hours or early morning hours offerings. You can participate if you want, but it would just give one more thing, one more option to help you build your business. The cool part about this type of product system is, number one, you can come in and out as you need to, not in the program, but come in and out of the sessions as you need to, and in a bit of a leverage move here, they're also more or less, they could be considered recruiting events all week long, right? So if, let's say, Alicia, for example, you're co-oping an agent with an agent and they're complaining about something at their market center, say, hey, well, we've got a script class tomorrow. Okay, can't come to that. Well, we've got a business planning class on Thursday. Hey, can't come to that. Hey, do you want to pop into office hours where we've got my personal coach can help you through a challenge you're experiencing, right? So not only can it be beneficial to you guys, but it could also be a leverage point for any recruiting efforts that you might want to engage in. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm also considering, and I'm chatting with one person in particular now about bringing on some form of like a lead generation coach, where we do maybe 2 classes per week. One would be basic lead generation skills, and secondly would be advanced lead generation skills. Okay, all this stuff would be available in recordings. You can pop in and out, and this just allows people to run their business, right? Go out and meet people, see property, transact, and then access the material and the offerings when it's most convenient for them. Make sense?
Yep.
There will not be any extra fees. All this stuff would be paid out of you guys having more sales and bonuses and these kind of things that would happen internally. So the compensation structure, we have no plans to change that. And we also plan to keep the $10,000 annual cap in place as well. So my argument to people that I have brought into the group lately, and you guys have known me for a little while, you know I'm coming from the right place when I say this, is Brian, let's say that if you were doing this business by yourself, you're capable of making $70,000. If you engage with the productivity coaching program and we coach together every week and you're coming to the sessions every morning and you've got access to the tools and the tech and the group and all that kind of thing, is it possible that together I can help you make, or we together can make more than $77,000? My bet 100 times out of 100, if you engage with me and you participate, no chance that's not happening. Make sense? However, if I can't find you, and I'm not directing this at you by any means, but if I can't find you and you don't show up to the meetings and yada, yada, I can't guarantee anything. Make sense? So I want everyone to think in a perfect world that these sessions are like non-miss sessions. Like I don't miss the coaching call because I get so much value from the coaching call that like it's 15 minutes, guys. Like people go to the bathroom for 15 minutes. Like just hang up the phone, go get coached, let me pour into you and come back to whatever you need to do 15 minutes later. It's not that much, right? Okay. And these morning sessions, like, you don't miss them. You don't schedule a showing because it's that valuable. And if you don't think it's that valuable today, pull me aside and say, Bill, you're struggling. I need you to do this. Okay. I've taught every class in the book. I can deliver it. Okay. If you don't think I'm delivering it at the level you need it, just pull me aside and help me. Okay. There's also one more thing which I haven't really talked a ton about in here, which is for the last month or so, month and a half or so, the Peters Company has been beta testing something for us, which is, it is our plan to roll out what we're calling, and this is not, I might need a little marketing help on this. What KW is calling it is essentially the dependent program, or the dependent model program. The idea is that we would hire an ISA, full-time ISA. Again, no change in the comp structure or anything like that. Doesn't change a thing for you guys. Okay. We hire an ISA, inside sales agent. Their job is to create appointments. They're going to create appointments by expireds, for sale by owners, withdrawals, pay-per-clicks, Facebook ads, all kinds of stuff. The budget's going to be set. It's going to be essentially bankrolled by the office, for lack of a better way to put it. Okay. And if you decide to opt in, then you would be given, after having a certification process of some sort, which basically is like, prove to me that you're not going to botch this, right? Prove to me that you know how to make the presentations, that you know how to handle the scripts, that you know how to handle the objections, right? That you have systems in place, that you're tracking things in command. Once you get qualified, and there'll be some training for that, then we would not give you a lousy internet lead that 1 out of 100 might get an appointment. We give you a bona fide, pre-qualified appointment, right? Not Joe, Mickey Mouse wants to know about this property. It's, hey, Robert Smith, who we know this number is right, we know this email is right, they want to buy this and they want to see it tomorrow at 2. Would you like this? Right? So we're not just passing leads, we're passing appointments. We're beta testing it to just check the financials. There will be a referral fee. Our goal is, number one, you opt in. So if you don't like this program, you don't have to participate. The only people that would be eligible are PC members, though. Okay, which is good news for you guys. Okay, now our goal, and please, but it does have that's something we're still navigating, right? That's something we're still navigating, whether it be a round robin or whether it be you have a certain day and slot or something like that. We're still kind of navigating that. If you got some ideas, please share them. We're trying to be, it's a mixture of being fair and making it where we increase the odds of these deals getting converted, right? So, let me give you an example. If you suck at reporting your numbers and I got to chase you down for everything that I ask you to do, you're probably not going to be at the top of the list. Sorry, right? Because we paid for this, right? And we want it converted. It's like being on a team. If you play by the rules, then you get more than you've ever expected. If you don't play by the rules,
I'm just going to pause for a second, and I need to report my numbers, Bill. Just to.
I like that.
$1 what does that mean? Oh, the $1 million question?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Sure.
right? Like that's going to be hard to figure out. How do you, because among so many agents, especially considering that you're trying to grow the program, but it depends on how many leads we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. That is why we didn't just throw this program together at you in September. Okay, we have tried it a number of different ways, with me being the ISA, with Sam being the ISA, with hiring an ISA. We've played around with varying performas. I mean, we're taking this seriously. We're not trying to just dump it on you guys, okay? We are not, I mean, we're looking at, the numbers that I'm looking at right here are somewhere in the neighborhood of around 6,000 leads a year, maybe even more, okay? So we're planning on making this real, okay? Again, there's a lot to iron out, but I just want you to know what's coming, okay? So these are opportunities where you get some of the benefits of being on a team without having to lose your brand and lose your control of your calendar and these kind of things. Okay.
That already is, 6,000 is 500 leads a month. So divided by however many agents there are, that's pretty good.
Are you looking at my performa here? See,
No, I know I did some quick math.
Just quick and math. Yeah, good.
And that's assuming that everybody in the program wants to opt in. Only half of us might want to do it.
Right. Because what's the referral fee going to be?
Yeah, that's what my
That was
question.
my next question.
so I don't want this to sound, this is not a mark against a team. I want this to be more lucrative for you than a team. Okay. So it's the number that I shouldn't even say this, but I'll say it, assuming you agree not to kill me if this changes later. It's got to make financial sense for everyone, just so you know. Okay. Right now, we've been running the numbers at 25% plus a small transaction fee. Okay. And that may or may not pay for some shared services like putting the listing in and contract to close and that kind of thing. Okay. We're trying to create a series of easy buttons for you. Now, obviously, if other people are doing the work, you're going to have to share some of the cash. But if it's not a win-win, nobody's going to sign up, right? So we're trying to make sure that it's a win-win for everybody.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, two forms of thought. If you're hiring an ISA and the ISA is doing the work, but yet you're training us to be more scripted and understand, where's the benefit in that? I'm just playing devil's advocate, because if you're saying that you have all these programs, because what you laid out was very lucrative and it made a lot of sense, because now you've got more training on lead generation, so we should be able to generate our own leads. You've got more training on script practicing, so we should be able to overcome objectives. And then if that is the case, then the probability of us being successful, going on our own, doing these cold callings, we should be able to turn over a lot more. So now you take into consideration that you're adding in an ISA into the mix. How is that going to be lucrative for those individuals that you've already trained? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure it out. Because if I'm getting the training that I can overcome objectives, I can do the lead generation, and then that means I can go and pay, the fee for being productivity, but then also being able to now get the leads that I've generated and turn them over and save that little bit. I'm playing devil's advocate because I think it's awesome, and I have an ISA. So then how do you benefit? Is this because you're seeing that most people are not doing the lead generation? And based on your stats, you said most people are dealing with buyers versus listings. And of course, listings leads to leverage, and you get 3 for 1. Is that what you're seeing? And is that why you're going towards the ISA? I'm just trying to.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of an ethereal answer. Okay. Keller Williams is a interdependent company. Okay. The other types of companies are what I would call dependent. Dependent companies are companies that tend to be a little bit more brand focused. They tend to give you stuff, right? Like a sign or a lockbox, or, that push their brand and these kind of things. Remember, they're not buying your branded sign, they're buying their branded sign, right? And I mean, there are people that still take relocation business at 50-something%, 49, 48%. So people are willing to pay a significant amount of money for convenience. And Alicia, you're not afraid of the phone, and you're really good at what you do. And I don't mean this to come across harsh on any of the others, but there's a lot of people that just flat out, no matter what I do or what I say, they will not do the work. And if they're willing to pay to have something put into their lap and they're good at servicing it, then we want to be the place where those agents can excel. Okay. Does that make sense? So we have basically a,
That's why I was asking about the buyers. When you showed the stats, it showed that, we're more heavily buyers focused. And I know both you and Aubrey and Andy always talk about listings.
Mhm.
So I was trying to see when you're going through the process of hiring an ISA, that ISA's focus is going to be on generating listings, I'm assuming, more so than anything.
And we know that that's the most strategic way to do it, but yes, there would also be some buyer opportunities, I'm sure, as well.
Okay.
Okay. At the end of the day, you either use like we've always said, you either use your time or your money to tackle your topic, your challenges, right? So if I've got a limitation on time and I've got a little bit more money and I'd rather trade 25% for an appointment, then I can sign up for that.
Okay.
If I don't find the need to do that, you don't have to, right?
I think it's a great idea for those that may not want to get on the phone. I think that's awesome that you have a conglomerate of options. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there's agents that come from a lot of different places, and that,
So
you know,
we
there's
have-
agents, for example, that walk in the door and they say, "Hey, I want to make 100 grand," and the next thing out of their mouth is, "Where are my leads?" And I say, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! We got to talk about something here. You're not controlling your income unless you control the receivable of your leads,
Mhm.
right? You got to go find the business if you want to control your income. If you sit around on the couch and just expect somebody to knock on your door, you better get comfortable, right? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So with that said, this is, this is one of Gary's ideas, right? Is let's become a place where agents that are dependent on their broker for business or leads or more assistance can find a home at Keller Williams. For those agents that are, you know, more motivated to do that stuff, or don't have a problem, or don't find that it's a fair exchange of money for time, you don't have to sign up for it. Okay. This also, by the way, would prepare you to be you would be a more talented prospect for a team, let's say, right? I'm not trying to like groom all you guys to be team people necessarily, but you know, if it was just me, I would never, ever hire somebody as a buyer's agent if you were not in productivity coaching. No way. Okay. You got a choice. Either you can, well, I don't need to go there, but if I'm hiring if I'm hiring a buyer's agent, I'm going straight to me and say, who's the star here? I only want your favorite, right? Not some agent that hasn't even invested in themselves. That's the first litmus test right there. You're not in PC. I would never even consider hiring you. Make sense? All right. With all that said, so stay tuned. We got lots coming. Okay. With all that said, I have, let's see, where is my page? I have created a MREA2 model for our group. Okay. So of the 30 or so people that have completed their goals, the lowest number of homes that those people want to sell is 10. No one has a goal to sell less than 10 houses, 30 out of 30 so far. Okay. So I've got some pretty aggressive goals for growth of this program, but my intention is to have 477 units close next year. Now, I know you don't care about how many each other sell necessarily. You just want enough money to keep doing what you're doing. But I'm going to encourage you guys, the more sales that happen in here, the more opportunities will happen, the more leverage I can bring on, the more tools and technologies I can share with you, the additional coaches that I can bring on to continue to pour into you and give you customized value. Make sense? So I don't know if I say this often enough. I am incredibly proud to come back to my phone and my WhatsApp every once in a while and see that there's been 3 questions asked and 3 questions answered, right? People are helping each other. People are giving ideas. People are solving people's problems. And it doesn't always have to come from me. That's not always the case. And I just want to thank you for the culture and the attitude of sharing that you guys have. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that can continue to compound in the future, okay? We're not talking about everyone selling 100 homes in here, okay? If everyone sells their 10 or 12 homes or whatever, on the low end, we will easily hit our goal, okay? And as we've talked about, many of us one-on-one, The simple formula for netting 100 grand, which is the vast majority of our goals, okay, is the acronym that I said. Does that count as an acronym? The little tool that I said, which is 4, 3, 2, 1. Set 4 appointments a month, hold 3 appointments a month, take 2 listings a month. We're going to start talking about listings as buyer listings and seller listings, and closing 1 a month. If you sell an average home, you're going to get paid 10 grand, a little bit more than 10 grand. You do that 12 times, once a month, and you pay for me and you pay KW, you're pretty much right at 100. Okay. If you want to net 200, just double it. You can run the 8, 4, 2, 1 plan. No, 8, 6, 4, 2 plan. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody in here? Michael, let me use you as an example. If I said to you, Michael, I got a job opportunity for you, sir. All I need you to do, you can work as much or as little as you want. You can work any day you want, any amount of time you want. You can dress however you want. I don't give a damn. All I need you to do is set an appointment a week. 3/4 of them, I need you to hold. You take 2 pieces of business a month and you close 1 of them.
Deal.
I will pay you 100 grand to do it. That
Deal.
sounds like a good
I'll
gig
take
for
it.
you? The only thing you got to do to keep your job is to pay $98 a month to the office. Is there anybody that would turn that down? Did anyone think that it was that easy when they got into the business to make that 6 figures?
Yeah.
It's not that hard, guys. We just got to do the work. Just got to do the work. Okay. So I'm going to make a plea to you guys. The only person, or the person that cares as much as you about your goals, is right here. If at any time this year you are not on track, or you are hurting, or you don't know what to do next, or you are stumped, or you need to cry, or whatever, come to me as soon as you humanly possibly can, because it doesn't have to be that hard. Okay. We just probably have to adjust a little bit of the way you're processing your time and your mindset and your skill set, and we'll get you right back on track. Okay. It is incredibly painful to me, way more than it should be, to watch somebody leave the business. Okay. I hate it. Cannot stand it. And that's why I'm here, is because it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, how many of us have seen some, not the brightest bulbs in the world, making a ton of money in this business? Have we seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Let me show you guys our new tracking. Okay. I know that you have been dying to see our new tracking, and I am excited to show you that there's only going to be a couple of changes. Okay. Here are the things that we are going to track in the new year, starting January 1st, okay? Contacts. Contacts, again, is a two-way back and forth with a human being, okay? If you do not know the person, you need to talk about real estate. If you do know the person, you only talk about real estate if you feel like you've earned the right to talk about real estate. If you do know the person and you haven't earned the right to talk about it and you don't talk about it, still count it as a contact. We're going to track contacts this year very closely. Okay. Next, database ads. What is our commitment to add people to our database every day? Pipeline ads. Remember, pipeline are the people that we focus on the closest, because those are the people that will transact business in the next 12 months, we hope. How many people are you adding per week to your pipeline? We're going to track seller held, seller taken, buyer held, buyer taken, pendings when the deal goes under contract, and units sold, closings. Okay. Is there anyone applauding? Are people on mute? What's going on here?
So the hells are just the meetings that you actually meet with them.
That's right. So
Okay.
some of the feedback we've gotten, and how many buyer appointments you've had, kind of can get lost in the shuffle with how we've been reporting, right? Since a lot of our meetings are with buyers, I want to recognize that. I want you guys to be proud of your results, right? So we're not going to track sets. We're going to track helds, taken, held, taken, held, taken. Okay. 2021, as we've said, is going to be the year of the database.
Bill, can you say that? I didn't see the last two. I was just writing them down. But after you said buyer taken, what was the last one? Contracts?
Pendings, which is you put the property under contract, whether it be a buyer pending or a seller pending. And the final one is closings.
Closings. Okay, thank you.
Bill, why are we not tracking the contracts that were written? Because, you know, if you're working with buyers, especially these last few months, sometimes you have to write as much as 5 contracts to get one to take, right?
I mean, we could track how many times you go to the bathroom every day if you want, but I'm just trying to make it simple. So I think that's very, I mean, it's very helpful. Sorry, that sounded like a jerk. I didn't mean it that way. You know, it's.
I'm going to the bathroom right now. I'll be right back.
Yeah, make sure you track it now.
Well,
So, I mean, if the idea is that there is a relation, the only reason that statistic is important is because we should track the number of contracts we write versus buyer under contracts we get. Okay. Because if you are, let's say you write 30 contracts and 21 of them go under contract, right? What does that tell us? It tells us we need to write stronger multiple offers or have a better dialogue with the listing agent or something of that nature, right? So like, I don't think it's overly look, do you know how hard it was for me to take it down to like 7 or 8 things? Like honestly, I'd like to track like 400 things. Okay. So I never thought I'd get this feedback. Okay, so if that's something that you feel is particularly important to you, by all means, please track it. Okay, but what I don't want you to get so caught up in, you know, how many offers was that guy? That's not going to get you to the closing table any sooner. Okay, I want to talk about how many conversations we having, how many people are we adding to the database for future opportunities, how many people are we adding to the pipeline for hot future opportunities. How many appointments are we going on and how successful are we being there and how many times are we getting paid? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Now with that data, hopefully it's a little easier for you to track everything. I have adjusted the daily success tracker to reflect the new categories, okay? And it's also, you know how I've been saying forever, if the answer is 0, just put 0. Like, I want you to have a singular focus. Am I going on enough appointments? Remember how I've told you guys, if I know how many appointments you need to go on a year, and I know how many you've gone on year to date, 100% of the time I can tell you whether you're on track or not. 100% of the time. No, I would bet anything, okay? It's all gonna revolve around, are you on track for appointments? So that's why I want to focus a lot on appointments this year. Our goal is to put people in the database, love on them, squeeze out some appointments, and take them to the closing table. Okay. Now, when we said 2021 is the year of the database, what is the most critical thing we need to do if 2021 is going to be the year of the database? We need a systematic communication strategy, which is exactly what we talked about this morning. Right? When do we call the people? When do we send them handwritten notes? When do we say happy birthday? When do we say Merry Christmas? When do we say happy Thanksgiving, etc.? Okay. How can you be unique this year? Okay. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you a way not to be unique. Okay. You have a friend whose birthday is on March 12th. And on March 12th, you know, the birthday message pops up on Facebook and you hit the like button. That is not unique, okay? It is also a step up from that would be you actually write happy birthday on the person's timeline. A step up from that would be calling them on the birthday. A step up from that would be sending them a video text on their birthday. A step up from that would be sending them a video text 2 days before their birthday that says, hey, I wanted to be the first person to wish you happy birthday. I hope you're having an awesome week. Right? Greta had a birthday yesterday. She was celebrating 3 days ago. Right? People are like, they're like, oh, it's my birthday month. Birthday month, right? So get them a few days early, right? How can you be unique? And how can you be, I always used to send out Thanksgiving cards because I didn't want to be the Christmas card guy. Or I shouldn't say it that way. I just didn't want to be one of 100 Christmas cards they were getting. I wanted to get them before when they weren't expecting to hear from their real estate agent. See what I'm saying? So I'm going to encourage you guys to spend a little time on your communication strategy and try to automate as much as possible. Okay. That's how we're going to deepen the relationships that we have with our people in our database. And that's how we're going to determine who in the database needs us fast and then what value they need from us so that we can deliver it in the appropriate time frame. Okay. Make sense? Okay. Another thing, did everyone see my 411 that I put on the announcements page? Anyone?
I did.
I appreciate that. I like sharing my 411. I will be honest, I have gotten out of the habit of that. I was sharing it every single week during my time as TL, and I have less people that care about my 411 right now, so I haven't been great at sharing it. It is my intention to share my 411 with you, not only to keep myself accountable, but also so you guys can know my goals, right? And I'd like to know your goals. You want to share your 411 with me every week? I would love to see it. Just go ahead and send it, okay? If you send it, I will invest the time necessary to give you the feedback and to congratulate you or to help you along the way, okay? If you see my 411, I'm working on building out roadmaps for the newer agent and the accelerated agent, okay? At this moment, I've kind of got two groups in the program, okay? The first group is what we've called launch. Launch is like 0 to 3 units, basically somebody who's just getting started or just relaunching their business. We have a WhatsApp group specifically for you that is basically not being used at all right now. I would love that group to be a little bit more active. Okay, if we get some talking on that group, these are things like, hey, I built this little flyer. What do you guys think? Or hey, how do I find this on FMLS? That kind of stuff, right? So we kind of keep it to the people that it's most relevant content for, right? So so you guys can get served quickly. We also have the growth group, which is about 4 units and more. As we get more and more people in the program, we'll probably add a middle group, okay? That way we have Masterminds Weekly where I can deliver the appropriate content for you. I've got the sketches of what those roadmaps will look like for all the different groups right here, okay? And then I'm almost creating like my own little version of the 30, 60, 90, okay? Make sense? So I'm gonna scan through some of this stuff real fast, okay? And I believe I have this on the Google Drive. Let me make a note to make sure it gets there. Roadmaps. Notice how I wrote it on my day planner because it's not time sensitive, it's just day sensitive, right? Okay, has anyone started to like kind of use some of these tools that I'm recommending so you can really kind of understand how you're spending your time a little bit better? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I started, so, it was really cool when Greta asked about like, we've got all these tools, which ones, how, in what order should we do them? So actually, that helped me because I'm visual too. Like I need to know, it helps me when I see like a logical flow. So that's why I created that kind of a graphic. So I'm creating a binder. I put that as like the guiding visual, and I'm starting a tab for my my Life by Design, and then the MREA and the GPS and the 411 and the daily goals. So I think for me, that's what's going to work. I think everyone has to pick what's going to work for them, but that is something I'm doing.
Cool. I want to show you, thank you for sharing that. Corey, I'm going to probably save you some time here, okay? Here is my sketch of some of that stuff, okay? So when you get into the business, Greta, this is kind of applicable to you as well. Not to you specifically, but this I think is, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Leaders simplify, managers complicate, okay?
Thank you. I
So
love it.
we're going to get into, what's the first thing we talk about here? Sales. Oops, what just happened? Okay. Come on. Okay, sales. First thing we need to understand is the models, guys. Everything revolves around the models of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Okay, if you have not read the red book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, if you need to read it. It's just that simple. You got to read it, or you listen to it, or read it and listen to it. It's super important. Okay, the economic model, the lead generation model, the budget model, the organizational model. Okay, got to understand how they flow together. The first form is the Life by Design form. Can you guys see this? That is in the email that I sent on Sunday. All this stuff is, okay? The Life by Design form, just to give you a quick review, goes through your personal budget and your personal goals and your business budget and your business goals to determine how much money do you actually need to generate in order to have the lifestyle that you choose to have, right? So if you like to vacation, if you like to write checks to charity, if you like to support the homeless, if you like to buy clothes every month, if you like to, you know, go to the bar every night, whatever it is, you can make as much money as you want in this business. So let's get clear on what it is you need, and then let's build a business plan around that so that you can get everything you need, okay? The next form, this is one that I saw in a KW Maps binder recently, and I've never talked to you guys about this, but this is a document called the 5 F's, okay? Corey, don't panic. You don't have to redo the whole thing you did yesterday, okay, unless you want to.
No, I'm not doing that anymore. Thanks.
Okay, so the 5 F's is kind of like some dreaming a little bit, okay? It's this document here, and it says faith, family, fun, fitness, finances. What would make, if I were to say, Michael, I want you to think really hard about fitness. What would it look like if you'd have a 10 plus life with respect to fitness, or a 10 plus life with respect to fun, or a 10 plus life when it comes to faith or family or finances, right? Jot down what you're thinking here. Again, your plan needs to reflect this stuff, okay? Yes, we make money by helping people buy and sell homes, but if we don't have the appropriate mindset and we don't bring the appropriate energy to work every day, it's not going to happen as good as you think it should, okay? This is a little tool to get your mind kind of exploring some possibilities, okay? The next thing we talk about, and we've spent a lot of time on this, so we don't have to go through it all today, but the 4th quarter GPS, okay? This is a reminder that basically everything boils down to the following things: pipeline creation and appointment holding, skill and presentation development, database growth, and tech. And then the personal stuff down here. Okay, make sense?
Bill, I got one question on that. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Because we called it I guess I made an assumption. We called it the 4th quarter GPS, and I joined KW in the 4th quarter. Is there like a 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter? Do you plan the year that way, or is it just something? Is it just a, you know what I mean?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to rebrand as right now.
Okay.
I'm going to call this the foundational GPS.
Perfect. Thank you.
The foundational GPS, and the other GPS that I've encouraged you guys to build out is what we'll call the business GPS. Okay, that's like the lead generation strategies and that kind of stuff. This is we'll call this the foundational GPS. Great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so much of this should just serve as a reminder for, are you doing all the appropriate things, or do you have the foundation laid, right? Let's get your buyer presentation figured out. Let's get your collateral figured out. Let's get your, intake sheets ready. Like, let's go through each of these systems one by one and say, hey, my main project objective this week is I'm figuring out this buyer presentation. My head is not hitting the pillow Sunday night until it's done. Make sense? Okay. Next, let's go back to the shared screen. Okay, next is the business plan / GPS. Really, this should look more like this. Business plan and then 411. Okay, so business plan is, for example, my program, I want to generate, I have 30%, but I'll probably end up changing that to 25% of the company dollar. Okay, growth. I have a big goal for this. I'd like to have 185 people in this program by this time next year. Okay. And I've got strategies on how I'm going to pull that off. I want 477 units sold, 848 listings taken, buyer and seller combined. Okay. So that's like not even one listing a month, each of you, something like that. Okay. It's lots. I mean, we could shatter this number. Okay. And this is how it could happen. And then culture. Okay. I got to make sure the culture stays up with the growth. Okay. Or this whole thing's going to shatter. So I'm serious about that. And this is how I'm going to make sure that happens. Okay. Same thing for my business, my sales business. I got a GPS for that too. Okay. So then I take the GPS and I go to the 411. The 411 is right here. We've discussed this. There's videos on both of these products, both of these systems with blank copies in the email I sent out. And I sent out a much cleaner version of the 411 that I designed over the weekend. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our daily success list. We're not create, you're just going to have it. Okay. Again, this is a Word doc. You can change it however you'd like. This is just a simple way of tracking what you're up to each and every day. Okay. And it makes reporting nice and easy. Okay. Remember, we are recording this. So if you have any, you need to go double back and listen to stuff again, you certainly can. Okay. The next thing is, this is, I think I have this in the Google Drive. This is a little bit more of an intense version of a business plan. I just got this from the Fall Masterminds handout. You can go through this. It goes into a good bit more detail about goals versus actuals and that kind of stuff. And it also has things like tracking your profit share if you want to get serious about that, or tracking your net worth. I just posted a net worth tracker in the group the other day, right? These are all things that we should be concerned about, right? Have you guys heard that John, you probably can give me a better statistic of this with your background, but I heard a couple of years ago that the average 50-year-old, I think it was 60% of people that are 50 years and older have an average net worth of less than $10,000.
That's true. Oh yeah, I don't know if exactly those numbers, but yeah, it's an astonishingly high number of people that do have a very low net worth.
Guys, $10,000 not even enough to put you in the ground. That's heartbreaking. Okay, it's one commission check. Everything you've ever worked for, you got one commission check to show for it. I'm not trying to pass judgment on anyone, but we just have a ton of opportunity here, guys. All we got to do is press hard on the activity, and we can have just insane life. Okay, believe me, it ain't all about the money. But you can, having a lot of money, you might say, oh, you got a lot of money, it must be stressful. You know what's even more stressful? Not having any money. So which stress is better? Right? Which stress is better? Track your net worth. Have you ever looked at your net worth? How often are you reviewing it? Can you set a goal to increase your net worth this year? What would that look like? Whenever I pay my mortgage, I say to myself, man, I just added I just spent $3,000, but I just added 1,000 to my net worth. You see what I'm saying? I'm making progress every single month. And I'm checking it every single month. Okay, so that's an example of a little bit more detailed of a business plan if you want to go into that. Okay.
Oh, okay, never mind. That was the business plan GPS?
No, not to make it even more confusing. The business plan GPS is really just the 135. This is like a 7 or 8 page document that like asks you to track your like lead sources and database goals and these kind of things. If you wanted to go into a little bit more detail, you certainly could. And I have a form to help you keep all that organized. Okay.
And do we have all of these things like in a folder in the Google Drive, or are they dispersed?
They will be by the end of the week. Give me till the end of the year, and I'll make sure that happens.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we have a planning folder.
Perfect.
In Google Drive. See, with all of you guys giving me this feedback, this program is going to be awesome. Okay. All right. Next is the calendar. We talked a little bit about the calendar yesterday, right? Including.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Is this document that you're going over, is this in the drive? Because I was just looking and I couldn't find it. The shared PC drive?
PC roadmaps? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing around with this a little bit lately, so I'm putting it in the drive right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill, you've got to get this on the drive soon, because this is crazy helpful.
What are you talking about? It's already there, man. It's been there for 2 seconds.
Get it.
Cool.
It's been there for 2 seconds. Come on now. Just kidding. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is I want to make a comment about the calendar real fast, okay? I've said this to you guys before, and I want to say it again. I'm not a very boastful person, but I will tell you what, there ain't a single agent in the office that cares more about God, family, business than me, okay? You're not going to find anyone close, okay? So this business, believe me, it is not about slinging homes all day long. It is about using a real estate business to fund your goals for life, okay? Many of which have nothing to do with business, or they ought to, okay? So when you take out your calendar, the very first thing you should be putting on there is all of your off time, is all of your non-real estate commitments, right? When do I go to, again, I'm just throwing out some ideas. I'm not trying to make any judgments here or tell you what you should be spending your time on, but when do you see your friends or your family, or go to church, or pray, or go to the gym, or any of these kind of things, right? What's important to you outside of real estate? That goes there first, okay? The second thing that goes there needs to be your planning time. Okay, I've said many times, I usually take about 30 minutes to an hour every Sunday night and kind of take stock of my week. I would look at my daily success trackers for the week. I'd look at my weekly reporting and go ahead and update it. I'd prepare for my 15-minute call. I'd kind of center myself and say, hey, am I ahead? Am I behind? What did I do well? What did I struggle with this week? Do I need to cancel appointments to catch back up? Can I play golf one day this week? Right? What is golf? Golf is this thing I did before I got married, I think, right? Just kidding. What do I need to do to make sure I'm stay on pace or get back on pace, right? How am I going to manage my time smarter in the week ahead? What projects are the most important to handle in the week ahead? Is there anybody that can help me accomplish any of this stuff in the week ahead? Do I need to go inspire people? Or who am I responsible for, right? Who have I committed to, right? I have an assistant, I'm supporting her and her kids and health and her mom, and her house got swept away in a typhoon 6 months ago. I paid to have her house rebuilt. Like, I've got people that count on me, okay? So who needs stuff from me? Because I need to love on them so they can continue to support me. Make sense? So I'm checking on all these people all the time. Got it? And the final thing that needs to go on your calendar is your lead generation, right? It's how you make this machine keep going, right? Lead generation, lead follow-up, script practice, and when you're going on appointments, okay? Don't give your family the dinner slot because you couldn't fill it all day long, even though you were trying, okay? Give your clients what's left over from the other stuff that you've committed to. Make sense? Okay. There's a document called I'll go ahead and include this. I think I've included it before recently on the emails, but this is a 2021 version of the DTD2 numbers and letters. So you'll know exactly who to call and who to text throughout the year. Okay, that's right here.
Is that different than the one that's already in there?
Is that different than what?
Is
Than
your
which one?
D2, yeah, the DTD2, is that, because I printed up one. All right, I'll just double check.
I don't know. It's 2021, so they may have switched it up a tiny bit. Probably not, but it'll keep the days straight at least. Okay. All right. There's also a document called the growth plan. That's what I wrote down here, growth plan. So growth plan is about being intentional with you remember on the fourth quarter GPS, or I'm sorry, what was formerly known as the fourth quarter GPS, now currently known as the foundational GPS. It says, I will master the following activity this month. It would be something like that. Like my growth plan would be, I want to read 2 books this month, or I'm going to family reunion this month, or I'm going to take a MAPS group coaching class, or I'm going to learn, 50 words in Spanish, or I'm going to, listen to something. I was, let me see where I've got all kinds of, I am definitely not totally in the cloud right now. I am, I'm still definitely a paper person. I'm looking for my growth plan real fast. 1 second. Okay, my growth plan basically has my PC goals, my sales team goals, and goes month by month. And it basically says, what am I planning to learn? What am I planning to read? What am I planning to teach? And what am I planning to attend? And so each month I go in there and says, hey, what am I learning? Well, I got a MAPS coaching contract. So I speak with Deb Jolly 4 times a month, Thursdays at 2 o'clock, right? I'm going to listen to or read a couple of books, and I'm going to teach a class on profit sharing and the GPS and the 411, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to attend, right? I have a goal that I haven't been great at this, but I have a goal to teach, to have like a 10-minute date, if you will, with each of my kids each day. Okay. Where it's just me and my daughter, or just me and my son. And we're talking just father to son, father to daughter. And maybe I'll teach them something, or I'll read with them, or they can ask me questions, or we can learn something together, right? It's the little stuff, right? But that definitely ain't gonna happen if I don't get intentional about it, because there'll always be something that's gonna pop up, right? So I'm gonna include a opportunity for you to highlight some things that you'd like to grow, how you'd like to grow this year, okay? Next, 66-day challenge. You don't have to do all this stuff, okay? I'm just giving you some tools. 66-day challenge, the one thing we know on average, if you do something 66 days in a row, you have established a habit. You want to go to the gym in the morning, do it 66 days in a row, it will become natural. It will feel weird if you don't do it versus feeling weird if you do it. Make sense? So I'll include one of these, that blank in the in our neat folder, okay? There's roughly 4 66-day challenge opportunities per year. Remember, the book is not called The 3 Things or the 17 Things. It is called The One Thing. So don't build a habit to like run 10 miles, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Pick one thing. Remember, it could be as simple as I will commit to reviewing my 411 before I check my email every day, right? I will commit to putting both feet on the ground by 6 a.m. every day. Small stuff, guys, small stuff. Okay, next, the 5 conversations. Okay, the 5 conversations is this. Okay, now I'm still going back and forth with how I want to deal with volume, but it is this, let me see if I can pull it up really fast. Hang on. This is my 411, by the way. Okay. It's in Google Drive. You can add little tabs at the bottom for each month, right? You can check things off when they're done, etc. Okay. I've included a blank copy in the Google Drive, and I will include another one in the tidy folder that we're going to be creating. Okay. you guys see this before? Does that look familiar? So I want you to track
Yeah.
a couple of things. I mean, you're already tracking this stuff, but I'm going to make it even more simple to focus on some things that are most critical, okay? We want to track five main topics. Remember how I showed you this a second ago? Remember how I showed you this? Listing appointments, listings taken, closed units, GCI, internal appointments, external appointments, internal gross, like that. It's basically taking all this other stuff that I'm monitoring and making it even more simple. I'm going to encourage everyone to have their own version of this that they track. And I'm going to encourage you to keep it super simple. This is what I want you to make look, this is what I want you to have. Contacts, appointments held, listings taken, that's buyer and seller, listings taken, buyer and seller, units. Okay, contacts, appointments, listings taken, closings. And if you want, you can add volume, but what's more important, I think, is the closings. Okay, so all the stuff that you're doing, the $1 million question is it resulting in appointments? And are those resulting in listings taken? And are those resulting in income? Make sense?
Mhm.
So for example, your GPS or your conversations might say something like, we need 11 contacts, so 55, so that would be 220 contacts, right? 220 contacts per month. And then the next category would be appointments held. We're going to do 3, listings taken is 1, and units closed is 1. See that? Yeah. See that right there? Okay, that's the goal. And then it would kind of look like this, where above it, you have the goal here, but you actually have the actual here. So that's something that you're visually staring at all month to say, hey, I know I'm working. I know I'm doing what they told me to do, but is it really making the wheels turn, right? Am I really booking appointments? Okay, so that's another model that you could elect to monitor if you think that would be helpful. Okay, now, here are a few things that a lot of us have said, hey, what do I do first? What do I do next? Okay, you need to compile your database. Guys, if your database isn't compiled, there ain't nothing more important than that. Okay, on the coaching calls this year, I'm going to be asking you a lot about your database because that's what this business is all about. Right? Can we commit to growing our database every single day? I believe that a fair number of people that you should be growing your database by every single working day, which isn't every day, it's about 20 days out of the month, okay, should be 2. That's what work is. We find 2 people in the world that would never have come to us before today, and now they would come to us for real estate help, okay? So compiling the database, getting that buyer and seller presentation and pre-listing package figured out, and getting a script system, right? Where are the scripts that I like to use? How am I going to memorize them? When am I practicing them? Who am I practicing them with? That kind of stuff, okay? If we can figure out our presentations and our scripts and we got an organized way of communicating with the people that love us, we will clobber this business, okay? If you are brand new to the business and you do not have a professional headshot, know how to use FMLS, or know how to get into properties, there is nothing more important than that. Okay. Training. You should participate in the following training. Ignite, 36-12-3, bold. Okay. Win with sellers, win with buyers, lead generation. If you go to, let me show you guys this. This might take me a second to find, but I'm going to walk you through it anyway. Okay. mykw.kw.com. If you go to, I believe this is where it is. Okay, KW University. Do y'all see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go to education. Okay, you can go to Ignite, Business Planning Clinic, Agent Curriculum Path, KW on demand, guides, checklist, shift, leverage, ignite, etc. Okay, there is a Market Center Command course materials, agent curriculum path, win-win negotiations, consumer experience, 6 personal perspective, agent financials, grow your profit share tree. All those materials are free to download the curriculums. Okay. Business planning clinic. Why does it make me do that? Okay, here are the materials. You can print it out, instructor, worksheet. You can print it off and bind it however you want to do. You got clinics, you got workbooks, etc. It's all right here. Okay. You can also go in and look for, if you look here under resources, you can go to Connect Live Calendar. We put that on the, what do you call it? The daily newsletter. Okay. You can look at calendar technology. Where is the, give me one more second. I want to show you one more thing. KWU, it's Keller Williams University. Okay, you can download all the Ignite curriculum. So Ignite starts in a couple weeks. If you don't want to wait, don't wait. Just go right here to the videos and the curriculums. Okay, guides and checklists. I feel like there was one other thing. So let's say you want to do a class on the 411. What do we want to learn about today? 411. Recruiting by the book, GPS and 411 workshop, tackle your goals with time blocking in the 411, roadmap from E to P. Here's a 411 worksheet. Okay. Templates, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Keller Williams University is a phenomenal resource. Okay. So if you want to spend some time, move this back, kind of digging around there, don't forget that there's a ton of curriculum there that will be helpful as you are building your business and you need more assistance. Okay. Technology Command. If you can figure out how to add contacts, tag people, deal with opportunities, deal with DocuSign, neighborhood nurture, website, mobile app, and smart plans, you could probably find a 10-minute video for each one of these, and in an hour and a half, you could be a command expert. Okay. Marketing. Have you started to think about your brand? Website, social media. Heather Fowler and I spent half an hour today working through her website. She's come up with a lot of really cool ideas for landing pages and all that kind of stuff, right? You don't know what landing pages are? Go into YouTube and say command landing pages, and you will find an insane number of videos on how to make that happen. Okay. Social media. Do you have a daily commitment for social media? Right? What do I do on Mondays? What do I do on Tuesdays? What do I do on Saturdays? Facebook Lead Accelerator. Are you prepared? Is that something you want to investigate? Self-improvement, right? Do you know what your big why is? Right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? Reading list. Do you have a reading list? Do you have books that you want to read through? Personal financial. Hopefully this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. You ought to have a personal budget. Okay? The Life by Design form will help you with that. How much do I spend on car insurance? How much do I spend on gas? How much do I spend on restaurants and all that kind of thing, right? So do you have a personal budget? Okay. Do you have a business budget? Please do not commingle your money, because you have no proof if your business is actually supporting your goals. Okay. You should have a business account. Okay. That's a sign that you're in business. Let's get a business account. Okay. Let's get an LLC. Let's register your business. Let's go to the bank. Let's open some accounts, and let's start pretending. Let me rephrase that. Let's start acting like a business owner. Okay. I kind of combined this with the net 100,000 and cap in 6 months model, which we've discussed. I'm still in the process of editing this a tiny bit, but set 4, hold 3, take 2, close 1. Okay. We've kind of already addressed this stuff. Okay. What we determined is there's this other model that I've been talking a little less about, but this idea of, called it, maybe I'll rebrand this a little bit, but 11, 5, 2, 1. Okay. We're supposed to talk to 11 people every day. I saw that smirk, Corey. You're on camera now. All good. It's all good.
I'm just laughing because there's so many numerical acronyms.
Well, the cool part about it, let me tell you something. They ain't stupid.
Great. No, it's great. It's really good though.
Well, the cool part about it is that it's all intentional. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what one of the biggest pieces of culture is? Language. If we have a shared language, then we have a shared culture. Okay. Mm-hmm. They ain't stupid in Austin. Okay. They're very smart people in Austin. Okay. So we know if we want to net 100 grand, we need to talk to 11 people a day. Okay. A lot of us learn from Mega Camp and elsewhere the daily 555. You go on social media, you like 5 things, you make 5 comments, and you write 5 messages on people's timeline. Will you commit to adding 2 people to your database every single day? And in most scenarios, if you want to net 100 grand, you're going to have to close 12 units. So what have I been saying about your pipeline? You should have 3 times the number of people in your pipeline than you want sales. So if you want 12 sales, you should have a pipeline of 36. So I'm going to ask you all a very pointed question. How many are in your pipeline? Right? Do I have a pipeline? Charleston, you got more in your pipeline than an hour ago?
Oh, no, I was just saying.
Okay. I know Charleston and I were talking about the size of his pipeline earlier, and I couldn't tell with your fingers if you had already added to it in the last hour. I was going to high five, man. Okay. So we know that for most of us, we want a pipeline of a minimum of 36. Okay. If your pipeline is not at 36, how hard are you willing to work to get it there? Right? What sacrifices are you willing to make? Okay, this is the best way to make predictable income in the business, is to have a lot of people that you're in relationship with. Okay? What if you said, hey, I ain't got anyone in my pipeline? Well, over the course of the next 8 weeks, if you add 1 a day, you'll have it in 2 months. Would you be willing to add 1 person to your pipeline 20 days out of the year, or I'm sorry, 20 days out of the month? Technically, it's 18 days out of the month. 2 months in a row, you got your 36, man. You're going to easily make 100 grand. Okay. Daily learning. What are you committed to doing daily? Daily skill building. Are you prepared to practice every day? Okay. A lot of what we're going to be talking a little bit about in our coaching calls, and we're going to talk a lot about this because we're tracking it, is the growth and size of your database and the growth and size of your pipeline. Okay. So tomorrow is New Year's Eve, January 1st. We want to, you know how for tax purposes, you jot down how many miles your car's got on it on January 1st, and then at the end of the year, you jot it down, and that's how many miles you've driven? For all you high C's, yes, I do not track my miles daily. Close enough. Nobody cares about my taxes anyway. Okay. I shouldn't say that with John on the phone now. Close your ears.
Don't tell. I didn't hear anything.
So do you have a deadline, right? We know that for every 16 people we add to our database, or that we have in our database, we should have a closing. So if we have a desire to, let's say, have 12 closings, so you need a database of, what is that, 192 people. Okay. The longer it takes to get you a database of 192 people, the longer it's going to take for you to close that many units. It's that simple. Okay. So when is that going to happen by? I said, hey, can we get it there by March 30th? That's not that aggressive of a goal. Pipeline, 3 times the number of units that we want to have. Can we get it there by March 30th? I think we could. I know we've covered a lot today. Is everyone following me still? Okay. And then post cap. So now we're making some cash, right? Now we're having some success. We're getting 100% of our commissions. We're getting a lot of confidence. Our systems are starting to really pay off. We're starting to, have fun, right? We're going back and we're constantly evaluating, hey, have I got the basics figured out? Am I getting better at managing my daily schedule? Am I still improving my habits through 66-day challenges? Have I begun to invest in additional coaching? So for example, you could take a group coaching call called Language of Sales. That's the one I took a few months ago. I mean, I'd taken it before, but I took it again. Never-ending referrals, 90 listings in 90 days, 50 Facebook leads to 50 closings. There's literally a ton of resources for MAPS coaching. Now, I think it was Greta the other day asked about MAPS. Let me show you what MAPS is really fast.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Hey, before you go forward, the language, what was the class?
It's called Language of Sales.
And where is that?
I'm going to show you right this second.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm at mapscoaching.com. Can everyone see this?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have, I have to accept the cookies. Different needs. Okay, we got some free tools here. Register for Bold, become a coach, coaching programs. Okay. MAPS has three levels, three levels of coaching. One is called Mastery. That's $1,000 a month for 4 30-minute calls per month. Okay, that's what I have with PC. Breakthrough coaching is 2 calls per month of 30 minutes, and group coaching is basically group calls where it's not one-on-one. Okay, here's a list of all of the group coaching that programs that they offer. The Lead, learn the pathway to KW leadership. The Mega Listing Agent, become a millionaire real estate investor. Mastering inside sales. Tech-enabled leader, mastering tech-enabled agent, working with foreclosures and short sales. How to hire, train, and retain inside salespeople. Never-ending referrals. 50 Facebook sales in 50 weeks. The Mega Buyer's Agent. Rockstar Recruiting, Language of Sales 2.0. Let's look at that real fast. Okay. This is an 8-week class, 1 session for an hour, 8 weeks in a row, $249. Okay. No mandate that you take this stuff. It's just available. Okay. You want to take your business to the next level? This can help. Okay. I've taken a lot of these and I'm sprinkling a lot of the content into our work together, but nothing's stopping you from improving yourself as well. The perfect real estate assistant. If I was to hire a real estate assistant, I'd send them to that class. I'd make an investment in them because that's what I want to do, right? Make sense? So this is the coaching arm basically of KW. So let me go back to the, okay. What's the deal with Agent Leadership Council, right? Agent Leadership Council meetings are open to everyone. You can attend if you'd like. You can't vote, but you can attend. You can see what we do, right? What topic will I master? In parentheses, teach, right? Clarity on conversion rates, right? This is when you start to excel, right? When you start to take your business to the next level, you start to dissect more things, right? You're paying attention to conversion rates, you're paying attention to budgets and these kind of things, right? You're intentionally building a seller-based business. And you're fine-tuning all your systems, your buyer system, your seller system, your referral system, your financial system, your profit-sharing system, your organizational system, right? And I just added the 3 questions that the 3 asked questions that we've hammered into you guys recently in here, okay? Let me review those for you guys. Have you or your family thought about making a move recently? Do you know any neighbors or someone from church or work that we should be helping with their real estate needs? And when you think of real estate, who do you trust? There's a different way to say it. John, let me ask you, when you think of real estate, who do you trust? right? I wanted to know if I might have the right to earn that responsibility or the responsibility of being your trusted resource. You know, would it be okay if I stayed in touch with you periodically, just to let you know what's going on in your neighborhood and in the market? And if you need anything, I'd be here for you. Is that overwhelmingly salesy? Not at all.
I try, Bill, I try to say that too. Instead of saying, you know, do you have a real estate agent? Do you have a trusted agent? Do you have someone you can trust? It makes them think a lot harder, and most likely they don't.
Right. And they may have one, but then they say, well,
Do I trust him?
trust them?
Right. Can I? Yeah, exactly.
See what I'm saying? Okay. Was that list helpful? I will also put a calendar in the packet. Okay. What I would encourage you to do with the calendar. Okay. Listen very closely. Okay. Next year, we will have holidays. Okay. Christmas will come next year. July 4th will come next year. Mother's Day will come next year. You're going to want to take a vacation next year. You're going to have Memorial Day next year. All that's happening. So don't tell me on the 29th of December, oh, I couldn't hit any of my goals because I had family in town for Christmas. Well, you knew damn well you were going to have family in town for Christmas. Why are we talking about this on the last day of the month? You should have been dealing with this for a whole month, if not more. Okay? Plan your time off. Does that make sense? Okay? You know it's coming. So we used to do this exercise when I was TL, and I was obviously being coached as a TL, and we would cross off the weekends, and we would cross off, you know, we were out of the office 4 or 5 days a month in training, right? Or in, you know, flying to Austin or whatever we had to do. And so literally we usually had between 13 and 15 working days per month. Okay. So all of my calculations are based on a 20-day working month. So if for whatever reason it is, maybe you're dual career, or maybe you travel a lot, or whatever it is, you can't work 20 days out of the month. Well, you got to figure out how to get all your stuff done in however many days you got. Make sense? So plan out your year now. Remember, when are you going on vacation? Right? Or when are you going to hide out at your home in Roswell? Right? So when are you taking off? And then you ask yourself, hey, how many working days am I even going to have next year? Or better, how many working days do I want to have next year? Right? I used my team leader for the majority of my time, or really for almost all my time at KW before I was team leader, was Denise, and we had a kind of this like running kind of joke. And every year I'd come in and I'd say, all right, Denise, I got the same goal. Last year I hit 200 working 7 months. This year I want to hit 200 working 6 months. It wasn't like, let me make 400, 600, 800, yada, yada. It was, I'm more concerned with my time, not my money. Don't give me the, I want to take 100 listings a year plan. I want to work half the time plan. Show me that one. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that's the way to go. I'm just saying I got clear on what I wanted, and I'm going to encourage you to get clear on what you want. I had financial goals. I think they were pretty significant. I was able to hit them, and I was able to do it in a reasonable amount of time. I didn't waste hardly any time. Okay, make sense? Okay, and then this document, which we looked at a little bit this morning, where we match our days that we are going to be working with the communication topics that we have committed to executing on. Does that make sense? Okay, and then this document, which is what I promised you earlier, which is probably on one of my open tabs. I just haven't gotten to it today, of the 19 to connect and the 36 to convert. Okay. All right.
Bill, is there the 411? I remember before you had like the 411 set up as a chart. I was trying to find that in the Google Drives. Is that still in there?
There is an older version of that, and then I mentioned that I did a newer version of it. Hang on, I'll download a copy right now and stick it in the, oh wait, this has got a couple extra tabs on it. There is a document called in the Google Drive. Hang on one sec. Like I wrote out like this thing I like to read every day, like what I'm grateful for, and like, you know, a couple quotes that like, you know, kind of keeps my head straight, like that kind of stuff. Like, so anything that like you think is helpful, let's create a system around it.
I like the one, I can't find my old one, but I do like the one, I do like that format that you had on the old one. So I was trying to find that style.
Yeah, so there's a document called Sample 411 in the Google Drive, and this is it right here, okay? And then there's another document in the Google Drive that is called 2021 411 Draft, and that is this, and this is the old format I had. So whatever you want to use is, look, if you use it, it works. If you don't use it, it doesn't work.
And you're going to put all of this stuff in one, like getting started, or what did we call this thing?
I thought that's what you told me you were going to do that.
I'm happy to do it. Do I have the ability to move stuff around on your drive?
I think so, but I'll do it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, this is the old.
Yeah, that's the one that I like. Yeah.
So the title of this is called 2021 411 Draft.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think I've pretty much talked about everything I had in mind to talk about today. Give me some feedback. Are you guys are you guys excited? You know, how are you feeling? I want to remind you that, gosh, this is a journey, right? This is like, you know, it's a little different than they make you feel like it's going to be in pre-license. It's a little different than they make you feel it's going to be when you watch TV, you know, HGTV or whatever. Like, you know, like one Porsche drives up the mountainside, and you know, the other Porsche drives up the other side of the mountainside, and one says 3 million, 4 million, 4.5 million. Okay, let's go. High fives, right? And,
and everything happens in 30 minutes.
Right, and then they go buy like a
one's bad.
$700, you know, bathing suit or whatever, and spend the rest of the day like at a party. Like,
everybody's happy.
I haven't figured out how to make that happen yet. As soon as I find out, I'll let y'all know. Okay, but I don't think it works that way. So, like, understand, like, this takes some time, right? And if you commit to working every day, right, doing what you know you got to do, making the contacts, booking the appointments, preparing for the appointments, knowing how to handle all the crap that's going to come up, knowing what to say, right? Calming people down. We're supposed to be the calming force of the transaction, right? Who was I talking to earlier today? Ty, for a second. Okay, so we were talking about like how to explain the options of somebody trying to sell and buy simultaneously. Okay, and we talked about that there a possible, not solution necessarily, but a possible way for this to happen is for somebody to sell their home, move into temporary housing, and then buy a home when they find the right home. Okay, is that a good solution? I don't know. Ask your client, right? If you personally think that's a lousy idea, then you will communicate that that's a lousy idea to them, and then a solution that they may have been okay with, now all of a sudden it's got problems, right? So, hey, like, let me just share with you some pros and cons, some things to think about. Here's how negotiation is going to work. Here's how the timing is going to work. Here's how the move's going to work. Here's how the money's going to work, right? How do you feel? Not, well, you feel like that's a bad idea, right? Because then they'll be like, well, yeah. And then you won't get anywhere, right? Ask them how they feel. Hey, I want to let you know the average buyer looks at 6 to 8 homes before they buy one. How do you feel about that? No, seems reasonable to me. Great. This is going to be easy. All I got to do is show you the best 8 homes in the market. Okay? Or less. But if somebody says, yeah, I was thinking about 6 to 8 Monday, 6 to 8 again Tuesday, 6 to 8 again Wednesday, then my aunt from Chattanooga is going to come and look at my favorites on Saturday. That'll be another 6 to 8. And then next week we'll do it all over again. I'm like, not with me. Ain't doing that with me. Okay. All right, give me some more feedback.
I got to tell you, I'm really excited about these new weekly classes you were talking about at the beginning that you're going to be starting in 2021. I think they're going to be very beneficial to me as a new agent. I'm really looking forward to them. I think they're really going to be very helpful to me.
Awesome. You know, in the meantime, we do have videos for all this stuff, right? We have videos on GPS and contracts and scripts and that kind of stuff. We also have our, you know, to remind you guys, I should have spent a moment on this. Let me spend a moment on this with you right now. Don't forget that we also have the access to the Georgia Legacy Group's offerings for productivity coaching too. Okay, so for every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay, and this also could be really helpful for newer agents too, for idea purposes, is you hop into the Zoom room. This is hosted by Robert, okay, and it's called High Accountability. So you basically go on a round robin around the room. It's not a time to tell all about all your clients. It's what am I doing in the next 2 days to find business, and what did I do in the last 2 days to find business? And then 2 days later, you come back in the room and you do it all over again. And meanwhile, you get to hear of people being successful. You get to hear about people having great ideas and implementing stuff. And then you got an opportunity to be in and out of that meeting. So that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every Monday from 2 to 3, there's a skill building class. Every Tuesday from 2 to 3. Lately, they've been talking about expired listings, but they're probably going to move more towards what Robert likes to call assertive prospecting in the next year. Assertive prospecting is essentially cold prospecting, right? Circle prospecting, for sale by owners, withdrawals, expired listings, that kind of stuff. Not sphere, okay? Thursday is going to be an hour of script practice, okay? And Friday will be social media and technology. So there ain't no shortage of coaching, okay? I want to remind you that you can't pay your bills with class attendance on my Zoom room. You got to go out there and get some appointments. Okay?
Bill, those classes you just referenced, they're through the KW Zoom or PC
I'm
Zoom?
going to show you that real fast. So,
I did the one with him yesterday on Legion. That was really good. And then we have a follow-up one, again, where we had to write down 12 ways that we're going to stay in contact with our leads. And that's what he's expecting us to do again.
are you talking to us?
Yeah. Am I talking too low?
I think I just missed the first word or two. Say that one more time.
I was on the Zoom with Robert. I found it very helpful because they did Legion. And he was telling us, you know, for our homework was to find out, to list the 12 ways we're going to stay in contact with our expireds, rather. And there were about 12 of us on the call. So it was very helpful, very helpful.
All right, here's the email that I send out each week, okay? Remember right here, you can see, take the survey, scheduling the 15-minute sessions. This was a challenge that I put out this week. I probably should have talked about it a little bit more, but can we get 15 contacts a day? I was trying to get you to create just a little bit more energy around the momentum for the new year. Can we add 10 new people to the database by the end of the year? And can we add 2 new people to the pipeline by the end of the year? Okay. This right here, I've always included in the mail, Greta, in the email, which is a schedule of what the classes are and the Zoom links. So depending on which instructor from the Georgia Legacy Group is handling it, would be which Zoom link it is. But they're all right here, and you can all, like you could, for example, you know, bookmark this and say Thursday scripts or whatever, and then just go to that bookmark every Thursday at 2, and you'll have the link right there. Add that link to your calendar. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and then remember we have some links to videos here.
Wait, where's the Friday one's not on that? Well, it's
What?
because it's New Year's this week. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
And then a schedule on when the masterminds are going to be. And then if you have not spent any time watching these videos, I'd highly encourage you to do so. And then this 10 steps to 6 figures is one that I particularly think is a good one, get you in some good mindset for the beginning of the year. Don't forget, we also have, of course, the private YouTube channel. So subscribe and sign up for notifications, and the private Google Drive. Okay, what else?
I second Michael. I think the new initiatives are fantastic. I love that PC roadmap. I think it's great for me to follow along. I'll be honest, a little recently, I've been, slowing down just a sec, feeling a little more, sorry. And I'm rev to go for next week. Absolutely. So thanks, Bill.
Awesome. All right, let me answer this question that was posted. Pipeline. Here's how I would determine if somebody is a pipeline candidate, okay? Remember, the pipeline is essentially a subset of the people in your database, okay? So everyone that's in the pipeline is in the database or ought to be in the database, okay? I would rather you put them in the pipeline before they deserve to be in the pipeline. So if you're ever saying to yourself, should this person go in the pipeline, err on the side of putting them in the pipeline. The idea for the pipeline is it is a visual representation, meaning it should not be a Google Drive doc. And I know you can do it in command opportunities, but I want you to do that, but I want you to have this also. Because let me tell you something, if you're behind in your goal, you're not going to dig through command to find a model to prove to you that you're behind on your goal, okay? You just need to look at it. It's like having a mirror in your bathroom. It's like, you got to zit, it ain't going away until it goes away. You got to zit. Like, we just got to take stock of what's going on, okay? The pipeline is designed for, in my opinion, you can do it however you'd like, but if you intend to transact business in a 12-month period, a running 12-month period, then you should be on the pipeline, okay? And what I suggested in classes in the past was to, if you believe that they will transact business in the next 2 months, call them a 10, okay? In the next 3 to 4 months, call them a 9. In the next 4 to 6 months, call them an 8. In 6 months to a year from now, call them a 7. Okay, and the pipeline is not where you keep every single note on the person. That's what your database is for. Okay, the pipeline is very simple. Name, rank. Name, rank. Maybe a telephone number so you don't have to look it up every time, right? Nice and simple. And based on their rank, obviously people are going to be coming into the pipeline, leaving the pipeline, going from a 10 to a 7, going from a 7 to a 10. It's a living document, right? Some people will do this on like a whiteboard with different color posted notes and these kind of things. Like Michael, I think you had posted, Michael earned a free lockbox a couple of weeks ago for being the first one to create a pipeline. I thought that was super cool. You're basically just tracking the people that you're focused on. So Greta, for example, you have a friend that you go to dinner with or whatever, and she says, hey, you're mine. I'm going to work with you, but I ain't doing anything until August. How do you make certain you don't forget about that, right?
Okay.
Because if you forget about it, it's going to be a $10,000 mistake, probably more. Okay.
I guess my problem is that it just seems so presumptive, and I don't like anything. Like I just had one fall out of my pipeline today, and that's very painful. So it's less about, it seems to me, I didn't understand what it was. It seems to me it's more about who I need to keep at the forefront of my mind more than like who's in opportunities and I think I'm going to close with. It's more, do you know what I mean? There's a difference.
I could see that, but I'll tell you what will make it less painful is to have more people in there, right? So when it goes from 40 to 38, you're like, whatever, I'm busy.
Everyone's lost.
When it goes from 2 to 0, you think the world's falling apart. Right. So it's not necessarily presumptuous, because they shouldn't go in your pipeline unless they have vocalized a goal, right? I intend to do by X time, right? My kids are going to college, I need a smaller place. My kids are coming back, I need a bigger place, right? My lease ends on this day. My divorce should be final in February, and I'm going to need a different place to live, right? So they've told you that they have a goal with a deadline within a year, right? And they're not married to a real estate agent. Then you go into the pipeline, okay? And you will hear from me more than you ever dreamed you would, okay? And you will either buy with me, sell with me, or die. And then I will stop calling.
Would you really stop calling though? Really?
I really stopped calling about 2 years after I confirmed your online obituary. Okay. Do you get? I mean, I know I say a lot of things in jest. I appreciate you guys smiling every once in a while, but I'm serious. Like, these people need us. If they don't work with you, they're going to work with an agent that doesn't care enough about them. Okay, our job is to go find as many people we can and help them, because you care more than the average Joe cares. Okay, so like there's a couple of fairly new people on here: Kimberly, Travis, Chantrell, Scott. I haven't killed your desire to be a real estate agent, right?
Of course
No.
not, Bill. Of course.
I am more lost than I ever thought I could be.
Oh, no.
No, Kimberly, we've all been there, Kimberly.
All right, we're gonna have a support group at 3:20.
I am like a AAA personality, and not to be able to put my hands on something when I want it like now is like your Google Docs. Oh my God. I was just like, help.
Listen, that can be worked out real quickly and simply, just with probably a phone call with Bill. The two of you work it out, and you'll get plugged right in with that Google. I had the same problem, and then it's just like, oh, look here, look there, click this, click that, and it's done, and you're there. So,
or somebody says, hey, what was that? What's the title of the 411 thing? Or can somebody repost the 411 draft? And 2 seconds later, it's sitting there in the Google Drive, right? So everyone, make sure that you have your notifications turned on for WhatsApp.
That was very helpful. A lot of people actually guided me to your share with me just PC. I just got it. Now I got to figure out how I have to leave.
You have the link,
breadcrumbs.
Kimberly. I sent you the link.
Yeah, I have to leave breadcrumbs on how to get back to
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Kimberly.
Oh my God.
You're going to feel partially, as you guys have probably already figured this out, you're going to be a part-time IT technician. You're going to be a part-time marriage counselor. You're going to be a part-time financial advisor. You're going to be a part-time buyer's agent, part-time seller's agent, right? Part-time chauffeur, part-time concierge. It's just part of the drill.
After 16 years of leading a team of anywhere from 6 to 10 people and driving revenue like I did in the hotel industry, I feel like a little kid.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we've talked about offline, a lot of your talents and a lot of your experience is going to translate very well to this business.
Yeah, if I can get past all this.
Well, understand you've only been around for a week.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, the first couple of weeks is like drinking from a fire hose. It's overwhelming, but you'll start getting it one piece at a time.
Right.
Don't worry about
Just
it.
remember, this is a super simple way of thinking about it. When you wake up every day, your question should be simple. What am I going to learn today? And who am I going to meet today? Right? If you're learning every day and you're meeting people every day, it's just a matter of time before it starts clicking. Let me. I don't think Rose is here, but in the newsletter, we've been doing. I need to schedule a couple of these. John and I are doing one tomorrow. Interviews with PC people, just to hear a little bit more about their backgrounds and their journeys and these kind of things. Rose's is a good bit longer than most of them, but can I just tell you that is a very, very smart 21-year-old. Oh my gosh.
I watched it. I'll tell you, it was great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought too. She's
Oh,
awesome.
I've spoken to her several times, Bill, and I said, I say to Rose, like, where were you 20 years ago when I needed somebody like you to emulate? Absolutely.
She was
She
crawling.
was on her mama's hip.
Yeah. But listen, like she's been around for roughly a year or so, and she's been in PC for 3 or 4 months. And look at the way that she handles herself now. I mean, man, I've watched that video like 3 times just to learn from her, right?
Yeah.
The way she makes a lot of things sound very simple, right? It's all about context. Like, I got to get over my limiting beliefs. Okay.
Yeah, she was lucky enough to be young enough to not have any.
I mean, you would say that, but gosh, by the time somebody's out of college, I mean, their head can be real screwed up.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't get a chance to make too many bad habits in real estate, but we all have limiting beliefs from a production standpoint and a, age standpoint, or from a,
After college, you can only imagine what happens at age 50. Gosh.
right. I mean, look, at
Tell me
all
about it.
times where, John, you're new to the business, and you see somebody, who's younger than you that, maybe from the outside appears to be more successful, or got it kind of get together more, or something like that, or has something you want. Like, you're not done with limiting beliefs. Like, once you've been around us for a little while, like, they constantly come to you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Sure.
It's like, hey, you can have a limiting belief around command. Like, I had my whole career basically before command came around. Right.
Right.
But you still got people that are trying to fax things to each other. Right. You got to change with the times. I'll end with this idea. Okay. Gary Keller says something really important. He says that you will not be replaced by technology. However, you will be replaced by the agent who has mastered and embraced technology. Okay. This business is changing, and it's changing fast. Don't get caught sleeping. Okay. Make sense? So my commitment to you is to empower you with all the tools, all the systems, all the mindset stuff, all the appropriate habits, all the appropriate daily routines and schedules to keep your mindset sharp, to give you grace when you need grace, and to give you a serious talk when you need a serious talk. And it's not because I like get off on being mean. It's because I care about you and your goals and your family and their goals. Okay. So when I ask you to report your numbers, or I say, hey, you said you were going to do this and you didn't send it to me, again, it's because I care. Okay. So we'll have a session in the morning, but I just want to take an opportunity to thank you again for your commitments to yourself and your business and your family. Thank you for your attendance on these programs. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for being a cooperative and cultural teammate to myself and to all of you guys. And it is a pleasure to watch you grow and to be in business with you. And don't lose faith. Okay. We got a phenomenal opportunity here, and I'm going to help guide you the whole way. Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Really, thank you for all your support.
My pleasure. All right.
Thanks,
See you guys
Bill.
soon.
Bill.
I think it's going to be a great year next year.
Thanks,
That's
Bill.
right.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely right.
Bye, y'all.